The following program deals with a controversial subject. The theories expressed are not the only possible interpretation.
The viewer is invited to make a judgment based on all available information. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
First-time
Caller.
First-time caller.
After downloading the free Discord app, use the invite link in the description or scan this QR code with your phone to be taken to the Beyond Wednesdays Discord server.
First-time listener, long-time caller.
There you will see the Modern Comic Mayhem category on the left with the call-in waiting room. Join that call-in waiting room, set up your camera and your mic, and have your questions ready.
Call me now!
Just one hit, then I gotta go.
You asshole.
Hi, it's Aaron from John Comic Books. No FOMO crying tonight, everyone. Want to know why? It's the Hot Fucking 10 Comics with House of Stein.
Got to take that one off and replace it. We got a new target. Just kidding, guys. What's going on? It is Friday night. That means another Hot 10 by the one and only Ben Stein, who's joining us along with our boy Richie from Popcorn Culture. Make sure you guys go sub up. Check it out. Information below in the description. And RSO is going to probably take effect halfway through the show, but I am good to go for the beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody out there who's joining us, hopefully from Nearing Nirvana. Shout out to the girls doing great work over there. I started jumping in because for those of you guys that don't know, I spend about 3 hours getting ready for the show every Friday. And while I'm doing this, I'm watching Nearing Nirvana on my other screen. So I figured, why not just jump in at the end of their show and say, hey, this is what we got going on tonight at the Hot 10. Most of you guys are jumping over here anyways. Let's do it. And then they're going to jump on the show every once in a while. So, yeah, collaboration. We love collaboration around here. As a matter of fact, we're going to have more collaboration on this show. So make sure you guys, keep tuning in and see who joins the three of us every week. So might have somebody that joins us, might not, but it's going to be fun. We're going to start doing that again. I think Bronze Age Nerd, maybe, right? Might be one of the people that we're going to try and get on the show. Shout out to Bronze Age Nerd. So a lot of fun stuff, you guys. Two big cons this weekend, right, boys? MegaCon and C2E2.
And guess who's going to neither of them?
All three of us.
What has two thumbs and is going to neither? This guy down here.
Man, I can't even think of the last time I was actually at a con. Gosh, maybe it was C2E2 in 2019.
That'll
like
have to
I don't
change.
go.
That'll have to change. We're gonna change that because we're gonna have to find San Diego. I think San Diego this year, Stein. You're gonna have to try and make it out.
We should do a show from there. Seriously,
I could probably get. But it's probably too late now. But I could probably get press passes, but
Yes.
but it doesn't that take the fun out of it though? Because like if you get the
No.
press passes, you don't get to get any of the exclusives.
Well, I'm sure we can get passes from our buddies. I mean, that are going. Hold on.
Hey,
Brian always trying to look out for us. He was trying to finagle with it so we don't get all pissed off when he cuts us off when we're halfway through our analysis of Ben's pick.
And it was a sticker. it wasn't even a voice, and I waited for the pause. Anyways, yeah, I'm sure with all of our buddies we could find somebody that's got a hookup that can get us in. So
when is it?
August usually, right?
It's like July, August. Usually
Yeah.
I think it's like the end of July or early August.
Yeah, something like that.
Plus, if you come out, we could after we're done, we can go to Del Mar Racetrack we'll go to Del Mar Racetrack and bet some horses and win some money for the con.
Damn right.
You know I wouldn't win that.
I win.
I always
just
like
follow
an
me.
insider. Yeah. Richie's an insider. So, all right. Yeah, I am back on the coffee milk. Sometimes it's tough to find, but when I find it, ooh,
Dude, where do you
cherish it.
get that stuff? I've been looking for it at 7-Eleven. Can't find it.
What is it?
It's a
Hold on, what
local.
is it?
It's a local dairy out here. It's called
I like it.
Danzian Dairy, and they do this thing. They make cold brew coffee milk. Oh, dude, it's so good, bro.
Looks good. Yeah.
That is a huge jar.
Oh, bro, I go through like half gallons of these things, dude. So, yeah.
I mean, that's a step up from what were you drinking before? Yoo-hoo or
Squirt.
chocolate milk?
Squirt.
Squirt.
Anyways, yeah, con stuff. You guys, we got some fun stuff to talk about at cons today, and I'm sure that we're gonna have lots of fun stuff to talk about following. Some Mando news that probably hasn't really invaded the top 10 yet, but don't worry, you guys. I'm sure next week we'll hear more about it. But we don't want to ruin it for anybody that hasn't seen it this week. If you haven't seen it, I'm sorry. Go get it. Shout out to Tetra Diatome, who says, I get the Danzian orange juice. Hell yeah. And it was a great opening vid. I agree. So make sure you guys don't miss the podcast every Thursday night. Last night was a good episode. We talked about the Bobby Lee incident. For those of you guys who don't know, it's pretty dark and hardcore. But we also talked about the anniversary of the nuclear disarmament caused by UFOs 67 years ago in Minot, North Dakota, and another place in Montana, where UFOs hovered over ballistic missiles and shut them down.
Everyone is invited to San Diego and stay at Richie's house. Let's go.
Yeah. Maybe by then I'll be rich and I'll have a house. But until then, we're either going to be sharing a hotel in Tijuana, right next to Adelita's, or we'll.
I'm staying away from Tijuana, man.
Apartment.
No,
actually, I live like 75 miles from the con. It's not worth it. Too far.
But yeah, so lots of fun, you guys. Let's get into it. We got a new segment that we're rocking and that I'm working on an intro for. So that will be happening shortly. But until then, welcome to Oof by the Dip. Brought to you by the one and only Popcorn Culture. So, starting off with one of two Rose Best issues on the By the Dip this week. These books have taken a bit of a tumble, I guess you could say. And here we go. Amazing Spider-Man, the 1 in 500 for what issue number is this?
I think it's number 1, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's 8. Yeah, I don't know the legacy, but yeah, no 1.
Jesus, man. This thing has really gone south, huh?
Yeah, like it started out good, and then it like dropped a little bit, and then it picked up, and I think it was even maybe on the almost 10 or something, like I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, and it was like selling for like $300-400 or something again, because it's a 1 in 500, and for I can't stand Rose Besh art, but this one's not terrible, but this week it sold for a whopping $100. So if you're wanting this, now is a very good time to get it for a 1 in 500, selling for just $100.
Yeah.
Wow, that makes perfect sense.
Can you guys
Pull the
think
trigger on
of
that.
any like 1 in 500s or 1 in 1000s that like still really hold value?
Vader Down, I think.
Vader Down, and I think one of McFarlane's Venom ones are pretty expensive. I know it's dropped down. It was at 1 in 1000. What is that? Venom. It was from Donny Cates' run, right? And there was a black and white one, and there was a color splash.
Yeah, what did they
One was
call those? They call them like
I
hidden
forgot. There
gems or
was a
something.
name. Yeah.
Didn't DC do a Jim Lee where it was like 1 in 5,000 that got like original art or something like that? It was like was that on? I can't even remember which title that was on.
Yeah, I remember. I remember
didn't he
hearing
have
about
something like that? Yeah, it was like on Dark Knight or something like that. DK3 or something. I can't remember exactly, but I'm sure somebody in the chat can remember. But he did like original art. I'm sure that those would sell still
Yeah.
really, really well.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on those. If there's anybody that's listening after the live show, give us some comments on any 1 in 500s or 1 in 1000s that really that have continued to perform on the secondary market, that are selling for more than their ratio. That's what I want to know. All right. Next on Buy the Dip, another Spider-Man book. This time, a book that it's surprising to see here, but it is dropping a little bit, and that is Edge of Spider-Verse #2.
Yeah, this is still like, I mean, it's still a really high modern key and everything. I think during the peak, this probably peaked at like for 9.8, sold for like what, like 2,500, something like that. I mean, and it still held for a long time, but now basically this week a CGC 9.8 sold for $900. So it's way less than 1,000 now.
Whoa, yeah, that's got to be a first, right?
It's been a while. I mean, it's been a while that it's to get here. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot of them. I'd have to check the census. There is definitely a lot of them.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure contributes. Honestly, when you look at a lot of these, that's kind of what I've noticed is that books with really high census numbers are in general right now the ones that aren't able to continue to sell well. If it's a low census, then like, because there's been several books that I've been looking to try and buy, some of the really, really hard to find variants and stuff like that, and you either can't find them or the prices that are being asked are like double what what like all-time highs and stuff. I mean, like nobody's selling them. Edge of Spider-Verse, there are 3,275 9.8 blue labels of this.
Wow.
Yeah, so it is definitely not difficult to get. So I think that a lot of that contributes to this.
Johnny says the 1 in 25 land is still hanging around, but here's the problem with that, Johnny. They're totally devaluing that book by putting out all those stupid homage Greg Land covers that Greg Land puts like the same character in the same pose but a different outfit, and they are so bad. They are so bad, and they're devaluing that book by doing so. So we'll see how long those Greg Lands hang around. All right, next on the list, a combo pack variant that I absolutely love, that I would love to even pick up more. Just such a cool book right here, in my opinion. Batman New 52 era, number 21, the combo pack variant.
Yeah, so this was the first appearance of Duke. Is it Thomas?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and like everybody had like super high hopes for that character, and is he even used at all anymore? I mean, do they even remotely use him?
I haven't heard anything about him lately. So
Yeah,
chat,
well,
let
I
us
guess
know.
people have kind of just forgot about it completely because, first of all, if you remember, these combo packs a lot of times were really hard to find in decent shape. The poly bags were terrible, and the the comics themselves always were like just dinged up inside those bags. But there was a near mint copy of this that sold this week for $10. I mean, like
Whoa.
$10. I mean, I know. I was like, gosh, I mean the just the regular cover used to sell for like 15 or 20. And now the combo pack only sells for $10. It's
Ouch.
crazy.
Ouch. I'll be on the lookout for those combo packs, man. Add them to the list, you guys. They're ones to definitely buy on the dip. And here's your chance. So, man, that's crazy. Well, here's a big book to buy on the dip. And it could have been even dipped even further if the charges stuck. But here we got first appearance of Kang the Conqueror, Avengers number 8.
Yeah, so gosh. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of go through what has gone on with this particular book. So just this year alone, CGC 9.4, which is really hard to get.
Oh yeah.
In January sold for 14,000. This week, or actually yesterday, sold for 7,500. So in half in 2 months. Let's see here, 9. Well, this is in January, so let me find out something. Scott else March sales. There's a 6.5 that sold for 14. The high on that was like $2,000. What I say? Oh, 5.0. So 5.0 was like a $1,200 book and sold this week for 700. 4.0 sold for 480 in just a month ago in February, sold for 725, and now it's at 480.
Is that pre-arrest? The 785 still?
I would say so, yes. Yeah, so that book has crashed. I mean, like.
How much of that do you think is because of the rest, and how much of it do you think is because the movie sucks so bad?
Maybe both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
but a lot of people told me that, because I haven't seen it, but a lot of people thought it was a really good superhero movie.
I liked it.
So it's got to be. I mean, it's got to be that arrest. I mean, people are looking at the precedent here with Disney, right? Anything now in cancel culture, and we're talking about investing here. They probably are panic selling. It's probably a good time to buy, Ben, or you think you should wait a little longer?
No, I mean, okay, so let's just compare it. I mean, to the more confusing DC universe, the DCEU with Ezra Miller and the Flash, and I mean that dude was off his rocker, and now that they're actually showing trailers and stuff of the actual movie, people are like all of a sudden excited. They're all of a sudden like, yeah, whatever. He was a nutcase. Who cares? We got a cool movie. That's all we care about. And all of a sudden, a lot of the books that are associated with the Flash all of a sudden started going up. So, I mean, at these prices, I mean, as far as that has tanked, I mean, gosh, I mean that. Let me just look here, and I can just kind of tell you. So, that 4.0, that 480 sale, I mean, it hasn't sold that low since COVID. I mean, since COVID started. So, I mean, that's as low as I mean, this book was in 2021 was $1,700 in a 4.0, and now it's 480. So, I mean, it's a third, less than a third.
Wow,
yeah,
that's crazy, dude. Uniform 13 says I had a few of them. Well, good. Hopefully you sold them at the peak, brother.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like one of those, like, man, I mean, I've avoided this book, well, forever. I've never owned this book, but I don't know. Maybe if I can find one that cheap, if you could go to a show, and if you had a dealer that was actually like not asking for like, COVID prices or whatever. And you can say, look, man, this 4.0 just sold for 480. Will you take like, take 20% or, 10% off of that? We take like 430, 420 for this. I think I'd have to buy it at 420. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always wanted this book. But I always thought, as soon as, a little off subject, but we're still on Kang. When they confirmed Kang, I was never convinced that he would be like a main villain. I always thought he would be like the 1B, and there'd be somebody.
But I liked how they made him supposed to be so scary, and if they would have followed through, I think he would have been a great character. But they didn't follow through on how scary this guy is, and that is just bad writing and being very disconnected from your fan base. So
100%, that goes exactly hand in hand with this whole. A lot of people make the mistake of saying 616 in the MCU, but the 616 is in the comics. Is that when the MCU is making their own universe, so they're putting twists on certain stuff. Once the writing starts seeing a downturn and we're starting to see movies progressively get worse, that's when they need to either regroup or they need to start getting more comic accurate.
Yeah, great point. Great point. Next on the list, the final book on the Buy the Dip this week, another Rose Besh book that has really fallen on hard times. This is Silk number 2, the 1 in 25 variant. Ugh.
Yeah, what did this thing peak at? 150, 175, something like that.
A $200 book at $250 book at one time, I think.
It was on the list. I remember that.
Was this like the first Besh that was like people were like, "Oh, I want that book"?
That I remember, yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty early one, yeah.
Yeah, well, it sold this week for Brian. How much did it sell for?
$25, dude.
$25.
Raw or 98?
Raw.
$25. So it's 1 in 25, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
right at the ratio. So
it's interesting, Ben, because like we always say, guys, supply and demand.
I remember, don't worry, how could I forget the last time we ever met, but I know the reason why you keep your silence up. No, you don't fool me.
I'm going to kill that British mother. But I think we need more Silk. Once we get a little more taste of what the Silk upcoming adaptation, these could pop. And I know, Besh obviously pissed in Ben's cornflakes this morning, but Ben made a good point. We were on the Hot 10 and this thing popped up and he said these Silk variants that are rare, once she becomes popular in the adaptation stuff, they're going to be hard to find. They're going to be sought after. Well, it's a good time to pull the trigger at $25.
Yeah.
So. Well, and Silk stuff in general, I mean, if you look at ASM 4, I mean, those are, you can get 9/8 of that now for like 160. I mean, I'm not saying go out and buy it.
Is that thing down to 160? I mean, in my mind, I always thought it should be around 160. I don't care how popular, because there's like 200,000 of those freaking things.
Oh yeah, so many that pop. Again, see, here's the thing, and I'm just gonna keep saying it. I know people are like, "Oh, print runs don't matter." Print runs do matter. When there are so many, when people have stockpiles of these, especially on these store variants. I mean, where they're getting, 30 or 40 of these things. I mean, they're just sitting on them. They're just bleeding them out. Well, at some point, nobody's going to want them anymore because everybody already has them. The books that I'm seeing that are still doing well are the ones that are not easy to find. They still command good prices. People still want them. These other ones that are a dime a dozen, even keys, nobody wants them because everybody already has them.
Hey, you guys, just a heads up, the private chat is showing up on the screen for some reason, so don't type in the private chat.
Is it really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's showing up on because I have it in full screen, and for some reason it does that. So Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll be honest, I never even look at the private chat.
I know, me neither. Once in a while it pops up, and I go, I better look.
Yeah. But yeah, interesting stuff. All Silk books are down. That's interesting.
A huge gap from when we got the news, the rumors to the news. I mean, there hasn't really been anything. And then MGM Plus, which was owned by Epix, bought by MGM, now has the rights. Is that correct?
I have no idea.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to show up on MGM Plus. So we'll see.
Interesting. Well, there you go, guys. Those are the Buy the Dip books this week. Let's continue on with the Almost 10. Oh, the Zerdy. The Zerdy 1 in 25 for Action Comics number 1053. Action Comics 1053, the book that everybody's talking about, but it is the variants of that book. And they drive us all crazy by putting different characters on different comics titles, which doesn't make sense. But you got Power Girl on this week's Action Comics variants, and the Zerdy is a doozy on her first book.
She looks. She's got that, like, what was my daughter called, the RBF? Is that what that's called?
What is that?
What's RBF?
The Butterface?
No. Let's see if anybody in the chat knows. I might be the only person in this whole entire community that has heard that.
Real big something?
No. It has to do with her face, but anyways,
resting bitch face. So, I know what it is.
There
yeah.
We go. Okay, so all right. So look, Patrick knows. Yeah, I mean, so she's got that look, right? I mean, like, but yeah, I mean, this is what some people want, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. She looks too familiar. She looks like she's an actress or something that I know. Maybe that's just resting bitch face. It is what it is. So, Edwin Aguilar's like Butterface. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, it is what it is. That's BF. So.
Nah, I wouldn't kick her out of the room.
Oh, dude, there's very few. There's very few, my brother. But, it is what it is. It's the same reason that I call Scarlett Johansson burnt. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like,
resting bitch face. I can't believe that's awesome.
No, she doesn't say it. It's just like the little acronym or whatever. But,
yeah.
But yeah. So, anyways, this is 1 in 25. Selling for 30 to 40. So it's doing okay. Right now. We'll see, though. I bet there's a bunch of these out there.
Yeah. Well, this next one, let me tell you. This next one, like, I've always talked about how I love their, what do they call it? They call it ultralight or
ultraviolet.
Ultraviolet. The Dynamic Forces Ultraviolet books are fantabulous. And this is a Perillo Ultraviolet book for Vampirella. That is absolutely gorgeous. This is Vampirella Year 1, Number 6, the 1 in 10 Perillo Ultraviolet variant.
Yeah, and I think this one works because, like, it changes, like, her eyeshadow and lipstick. It's got, like, that fluorescent green tint. I think that's what makes, because, like, if you compare it to the A cover, which this is the A cover, just in the regular, and so when you compare it, you're like, I think this one actually, a lot of times these don't look as good with the UV, but this one looks better than the A cover.
Yes.
On this one, but this one's a 1 in 10, and we all know these Dynamite 1 in 10s usually sell for cover price or less. This one's selling for 15 to 20. This just came out this week, so it's selling for 15 to 20. I would suspect there is a trade dress of this as well, of the Ultraviolet, but this one's the virgin variant of it.
Where's our boy Chad Cave? I know he's 2 for 2 this week. He's got to be 2 for 2 already. Liger Style's 2 for 7. There we go. This is a beauty. This is a good one. I like it a lot. So, How much you say it was selling for?
This one's selling for 15 to 20
Not
right
bad.
now.
Not bad. Well, we always got to have a nerd book on the list, it seems now. So here we go. Star Trek Strange New Worlds #4, the retailer incentive. And yeah, this is a 1 in 25 Rachel Stott variant.
No.
Hold it. Okay, so let me and this is my question.
Is this it?
You guys, yeah, that's it. Oh no, this is it.
Okay.
You guys are the biggest Star Wars dorks out there, and you slam people for liking Star Trek. I'm so confused.
No, I don't slam people for liking Star Treks. You see, McClay used to beat up Star Trekkies in high school, so he's just reminiscing on some nostalgia.
Never been a bully. Never been a bully. But Star Trek, all the nerdy science dudes were into Star Trek. All the cool science dudes were into Star Wars. All the like, I hate to tell you, it's just the way it was, man. Like, I feel like Star Trek is the cool science things for nerds. Nerds. I'm gonna have a nerd soundbite. Nerds. Anytime a Star Trek book pops up on here.
Yeah, with some ogre action.
Yeah. I'm just joking,
so
you guys.
funny.
I'm just joking.
So this is from the new show, right? They've got a new Star Trek show, I guess, called Strange New Worlds. I don't know if this is like I don't know if this is like from the show, or I really don't know. I'm only saying that because I don't really know much about Star Trek, other than, the dude on the left looks like what's his name? Nanu. No, that's from work. That's more from work.
That just proves my point, man. Only nerds love Star Trek.
Yeah, the first season started last year, and then the announcement for the new season confirmed June 15th. So that's
Spock, not Ort from Ort. That was Robin Williams. Wrong show. Anyway, this is a 1 in 25. It's selling for 40 plus. So again, sometimes if you can make money off some things, sometimes it's better to buy it and sell it.
Yeah. Nerds. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Hey, that reminds me, what did Robin Williams do something in that with his hand? Did he do something?
I thought he did.
Yeah.
He said nanu. I remember that.
Yeah. Did he put
his
hand up like that?
I was like 6, so
yeah.
I don't remember what his
Nerds.
I thought I turned it off. I guess I didn't. Oh. Is it still let me you guys know, is it still echoing? Let me know. Anyways.
It's good. It's
okay. How much is this selling for again?
40 plus.
40 plus. Wow.
And I would highly think that this one, there is not that many of these out there. Which, when it comes to some fan bases, if they're trying to find it, if there's like is there a Trek Con or something like that, or Trekkie Con?
Yeah, there is. I think there's one in Vegas. Yeah.
So I mean, whoever this actor is, that maybe he shows up at that, and they want to get this signed because he's right there on the cover. This would be really expensive, I would assume, but I'm not telling you to buy it.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. All right, hold on here. On to the next one. One I talked about recently. This one being a gorgeous Jenny Frison. I like Jenny Frison, but I don't like her black and whites as much as her colors. And they really like the black and whites for their high ratio. So, it's what it is. But here we go. Indigo Children #1, the 1 in 75 Frison is beautiful.
Yeah, the color is 1 in 50, maybe? Is that what that is? I don't know. It just came out this week. And if my internet goes down, I'm hearing really, really loud thunder outside. So if my internet drops, that's why. Yeah, this 1 in 75, it's selling for 120. So it's pretty significantly over ratio. What's the story about Indigo Children? Obviously, it looks like some kind of, kids
So,
with like superpowers or
so the
something.
term indigo children came from the UFO world. There was this, thing going around that the mothers that were, abducted, that they utilized to make like these hybrid babies, and they call them indigo children. And it stuck. So it might be about that. We'll see. I'll have to look into
You're
it.
right. A journalist hunts down the extraordinarily gifted indigo children after their mysterious disappearance 15 years ago.
So there you go. Very cool. Yeah, I like the little things around the eyes. I think that really does it. Just
You know what it reminds me of? When you do your story on IG and then you can put those filters on like Starry Night and all that? That's what it kind of reminds me of.
yeah, lens flare, exactly, lens flare. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. And what'd you say it was selling for again?
120.
There you go. There you go. All right, at the next number on the almost 10. How about some Dungeons and Dragons? We got Dungeons and Dragons on both shows this week so far. We talked about the new Dungeons and Dragons toys that are coming out that look absolutely badass. And then now we have Dungeons and Dragons showing up on the almost 10 with this book, Dungeons and Dragons Saturday, number 1, the Levens 1 in 10 variant.
Yeah, this is interesting. Saturday morning adventures. So it's like this is what if nobody grew up in like the 80s, this is what all our cartoons look like. They look exactly like this. So it's an interesting title. I didn't know anything about this. But it's a one.
Go ahead, sorry, Ben.
Oh no, I was just gonna say it's a 1 in 10 selling for like 20 to 35. So it's not doing bad. For sure.
Yeah, they did the Turtles right before this Saturday morning adventures.
I like it.
Yeah, interesting. Well,
are you guys going to go see the new Dungeons and Dragons movie?
No.
I'll wait till it comes on TV.
Yeah.
I can't afford a trench coat right now. So.
I laugh at that every time, bro.
But it's true. Like everybody that used to play D&D when I was in high school, they all had trench coats.
And all ended up on what was that? What was that? Kevin Smith, Mallrats, or Jane Silent Bob, or whatever. They all walk around in their trench coats.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, this next book, we have a trench coat wearing character on the front. A very interesting one right here. That I don't think people have probably seen this around. Jeepers Creepers number 5, the Sager Virgin variant. I've never seen this book.
Yeah, Jeepers Creepers. This is a pretty sick cover, actually, right?
Yeah, cool skull cover too. Look at the skulls, man.
Who was the publisher on this? Is that Dynamite?
Hold on, I got it. It is Dynamite. Yep, released September of 2018.
All right, so
and it's just the main cover. So if you look, let me show you guys the main cover here. So here is the main cover. Right, so not bad, not a bad main cover, but this cover is way better.
Have you seen Jeepers Creepers?
Yes.
First or second one?
Yeah, good movie. The first one was really good. Kind of creepy. Justin Long, right? Justin Long. I hope it's kind of creepy. Jeepy creepy.
Yeah.
So how much is this selling for?
Yes. So this one sold. I'm like Brian. Like this book is probably not very easy to find. Sold for $25 plus $25 shipping. So, so even though like the sale price was only $25, it basically cost somebody $50 plus on this to get it. So not bad. I don't know what the ratio on this was. To say 1 in 10.
1
is
in
that
10.
What that says? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just a 1 in 10. So I it's kind of like the what was the books that we've been talking about with like the Clint Eastwood zombie one? What was that
Man with no
title?
name.
Yeah, Man with No Name. Um, again, it's another one of these that like probably most people are not even looking for in back issue bins at all. I would assume.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so it's just kind of one to keep an eye out on. Like, I mean, hey, if you can get it for $3 or $4, I mean, sitting in a back issue bin, buy it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen. Another cool book on the list, followed by another cool book on the list. This is an interesting one that I've never heard of, but this is the type of books that I love, these weird ones. Antisocial #1 or Evil Propaganda.
Bro, the fact that there's like a little animal with a chainsaw out in the meadow trying to kill, and it's in Happy Land. I mean, I don't even know what's going on here, but it's really kind of funny. I have
So,
no idea what this is about.
It's very interesting. Published in '97 by Evil Propaganda. Don't know much about it. Not much to talk about, but the cover 2 is pretty crazy too. Check this out. This is cover 2.
How many issues did they have?
3, and this is for issue 2.
Oh gosh,
That's
Yeah, I like that. That's
right?
cool.
That is creepy as hell right there.
And he has a drill. That's sick.
So
wasn't there a No, that was with a needle. I was like, there was a horror, like a Japanese horror movie that had a girl standing there with a needle like that. Like the movie poster or something. That's only why it just popped into my head. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was some kind of one of those Japanese horror movies. Yeah. So anyway, this one sold for $25. I just thought it was an interesting book. Like, I've never heard of it. Now I kind of I want to. I'll never find it. I mean, who the heck is Evil Propaganda as a publisher? I have no idea. I mean, where would you Where would you literally find this?
In a dollar bin. So this is definitely the type of book I would pick up in a dollar bin.
Yeah, Ronnie said it looks like Evil Scotty Young. It does. It looks like kind of like
yeah.
You know, like I Hate Fairyland or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. All right, next. Ewoks #1, the Canadian price variant right here. Tough book in any grade, any variant, newsstand, direct, Canadian, old school. Interesting book right here.
I feel like I should be buying more like Canadian price variants, Australian price variants, because they just don't come up that often, and they're always in like the worst shape when you find them. They're like just beat to death. Even this copy that Brian shows here on the picture, I mean, it's got like a tear over on the right hand side.
Tough to find a picture of this book, man.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was this week a CGC 9.6 of this sold for $250, which is a lot for an Ewoks.
Tough book.
New, I guess.
That black cover.
Grade.
Yeah.
What grade did they give it?
It was a 9. It was a CGC 9.6.
Oh, CGC 9.6. Got it.
Yep.
Well, that's actually a good score, man. If I had an all black Canadian price variant, and these are one of the early ones, come back 9.6, I'd be pumped.
Ooh. Hey, you know what? I just realized, because I've never actually looked at an Ewoks #1. I want to get this book signed by Tim Tebow. That would be, because it says Tebow, our rainbow bridge is fading up.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
Get it signed by Tim Tebow, right?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
I want to know, to all the Canadian viewers, how easy it is to find Canadian price variants up in Canada, or is it still dominated by just regular American copies? Because if that's the case, you guys got the hack, right? You know, just living where you live. Be on the lookout, man.
I will say that 3 years ago, it was just before COVID. Me and my mom and my daughter went to We went to Banff National Park up in like outside of Calgary,
Beautiful.
and yeah, and I took about 2 hours. I actually went to a couple comic stores up there, and I found like several like 80s DC, and like all of them were Canadian price variants. They were not in the greatest of shape, and it was hard to figure out like how much I was actually paying, because they would say like $8, but it was $8 Canadian, so it was like $6 or $5 American or something like that. So I bought several of them. I'm like, I don't see these Canadian price variants, and if they're like a first appearance or a cool cover or something like that, I'll just buy them. It's no big deal. So I assume that, I mean, that was just in one store that I went to, so I would assume that that's not uncommon for them to.
Okay, so here's the question to Lindsay. Lindsay Schultz says, being in Saskatoon, most of my 80s stuff is Canadian price variant. So if that's the case, do they charge you more? Do they put on the CPV extra, even if you're in Canada? Like, do your little comic shops are like, oh, this is worth more? That would be kind of a bummer.
That'd be kind of weird, right?
Yeah. Yeah, man. So always on the lookout for OPC and Canadian price variants. Let me know. Big Polish guy says, my Star Comics Thundercats 1 and 2 are both Canadian price variants. Congrats. Those are tough books. So, all right, next on the list at number 21, a very cool Sonic variant. I love that look of the Sega on the bottom right. That's just so cool to me, man. I don't know. It's nostalgia, I guess. But Sonic the Hedgehog, the 2019 annual. This is the Jennifer Hernandez B design variant. And,
yeah.
Oh, boy, does it sell for a grip.
$110 for this. Is this like a special character? Is this like a... It looks like her legs and stuff look like Minnie Mouse to me,
Yeah.
but I have no idea. Is this like a female Sonic or something? Like, is this the first appearance? I have no idea.
Let me take a look.
And yes, you guys can now drink again.
Yeah. All right. It says here, in Sonic's world, adventure awaits around every corner, but even when the world's fastest hedgehog can't be the center of it all, join Sonic and some of his coolest friends in adventures that show you how wonderful Sonic's that world really is. In the lead story, the odd couple of Tangle the Lemur and Whisper the Wolf team up to save a friend in need. Then Sonic and Tails take the tornado for a spin, but Sonic is going too fast. Plus, Silver and Blaze slow down for a minute to go gardening, and the Sonic fan club has their first official meeting. And Rogue the Bat joins hunts for treasure. So there you guys go. Yeah, this was originally sold for $7.
Wow.
And yeah, it's just a 2019. Now, maybe this came out. I'm trying to. So it was a 2019. What was the release date on this?
2019.
I mean, did it release in
May 1st,
early
2019?
Okay, I did sometimes they release like a little bit later, and I was thinking, well, maybe this released early 2020 or something, and maybe it was like canceled or something because of COVID or something like that, but I guess not.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Gotcha. Yeah, I think it's summer of 2019, right, Brian?
Yep, May. You got it. So, tough book. Be on the lookout for it. Love that Sega logo. Sega.
Crazy.
All right, this next book blew me away. I saw it on the I put it on the market report on Wednesday, I believe, or the Wednesday before. And this happened in my neck of the woods, and I've never seen this book. How about an E-Boss book for the ages? For all you Eric Basuda fans out there, this is a tough one. The Waking #4, a limited to 500 Phoenix Comic-Con variant. There you go.
I don't know anything about this. How big is this Phoenix Comic-Con?
Back in the day, it was. I mean, it was decent size. I mean, Phoenix is what is like the 6th largest city or 7th largest city or something like that. So I mean, Phoenix Comic Con was big. This might have been at the time when Jesse James was running the con. So I might have to ask him about the book if he knows anything about this book. Yeah,
It's crazy. Well, it's so raw, and you already knew it. I mean, it's so raw for 300 this week. Oof, that's a lot.
yeah. Crazy book, dude. A very crazy book. And right up Zenoscope's alley, right? So I think this is one of those books that is in too many people's collections, and it's just not going anywhere. So, but Solo Wookie says 5th largest city. So there we go. Johnny says, I know a guy that's got 2 of them. I want one.
Wow. Unless Johnny's the guy that has 2 of them.
Well, I think it's so funny. It's even got the little Phoenix tramp stamp that every dancer in Phoenix in the late 90s had at the Alaskan Bush Company. So, that being said, let's move on. 2. We've got 2 more books. Little fun, interesting books, you guys. It's great when you can say that Detective Comics number 27 in a 6.0 shows up on the almost 10.
Yeah, so man, Heritage had a crazy auction this week with some nosebleed books. They sold a Batman 1. They sold a crime suspense stories 22. I think it was a 9.2 or something like that. I mean, something just ridiculous. Obviously, this book just doesn't even really come up for sale very often. The fact that a 6.0 came up, man, I think if I was like literally that wealthy, I'm not sure I would ever sell this book ever. Like, right? I mean, if you had it, would you ever sell this?
No.
Have you seen the movie with what's his name? Matt Damon's best friend, Ben Affleck, and it's called The Accountant. And he has great movie. But the best part of that movie is when he goes into his Airstream and the girl that he likes or whatever is in there, and she's like looking in the drawer, she's snooping, and she sees the gold bars and stuff, and then she pulls out the Detective 27 and the Action and the first Superman, and she's like, "Are these comic books?" He's like, "Yes, different means of payment." Yeah, I would never sell this.
Actually, you know what? I'm lying. I would definitely sell one of these if I own this and I got to be about 60 and was in 65. Gonzo, peace. This is gonna be my fun money for the rest of my life.
Man, I don't know. This one, I think I would have to. I think I would have to die with this one and leave it to somebody. I think I would just have to. I don't know. Maybe that's just
somebody. I'm gonna tell my family, make sure this is in my casket.
Well, it did sell. It did sell this week for $1.75 million. Again, people with money. Again, when these just don't have. Again, we go back to this true rarity. When you can't actually obtain some of these books, the people that want them they're just sitting on their money. They're like, as soon as it comes up, I'm getting it, and I'll overpay for it because it just does not come up. So I know people. There's a lot of people that hate on variants, and there's a lot of variants to hate on for sure. But man, some of these variants are just so unbelievably difficult to locate, and when they come up, there are dozens of people that want that. You have to almost in your mind think, I'm going to overpay for this. I know I'm going to, because it just doesn't come up. I was sitting there thinking about that Ruby Red Campbell, the Danger Girl Ruby Red. I don't think that book is sold in like 4 years. I can't imagine what that book would sell for if it like just came up to market right now. I mean, some of those books are just. There was a I went. It's so Matt DeVoe from Cover Price years ago. Took a lot of time, and he came up with like top 100 variants or whatever, and put it over on CBSI, and it's still there today. And I went back actually last week, and I kind of looked through it or whatever, just to kind of refresh my mind. There's a few of the books that have completely fallen off. There was a couple Valiant books on there and stuff like that that nobody cares about. But my goodness, there were, if you like start typing in some of those to try and even find some of those books, um, I mean, there was a Transformers book on there that there was actually
Cybertron one.
yeah, there was actually two Transformer books on there. One was like never supposed to be released, and there's only like 20 copies or something in existence. Couldn't even find that book. But then the other one was I don't know, had this big,
World.
huge, yeah, something on it.
So you
There's
want to
like
hear something funny about that, bro? Jesse, I bring up Jesse all the time because that's my local comic shop. But Jesse James pulled one of those out of a dollar box in one of his stores and put it on eBay and sold it. That was the last sale of that book in a long time.
yeah,
dude.
like the only one there's like one on eBay, and like dude's asking like 15 grand for it or something. Those books are just people are like, screw it, I'll just put whatever price I want because nobody else has it. Um, this is, I mean, obviously this is key of all keys, but still, it's just so hard to find. Even if
Yeah.
you wanted it, you can't even buy it. Um,
Very interesting, man.
Yep.
Speaking of our boy Matty DeVoe, one of the great things about Cover Price, not only the fact that they help sponsor this show, I love their Week in the Review. Make sure you guys go check it out where they go over the week in review on Cover Price. Very important information over there. Great stuff by great people. Check out Cover Price. All data, no opinion. It's just like us over here at the Hot 10, where we do books with no data, all opinion, right? Well,
course.
at least our buddy Tim, who gave us this heat this week, he told us to put this on the list because he said it was selling so great. A Do You Poo book from MegaCon, right? C2E2.
C2E2. I mean, we gotta promote C2E2 sellers. I mean, that's the only reason that we even do this show is so C2E2 sellers can on Saturday morning can be like, look, man, this book was on the Hot 10. You need to now overpay for this book. So that's what we do here. So I am so glad that he gave me this information on this book so I could promote it. So you can thank this Tim guy, man. If you go buy this is what you need to invest in for sure. I mean, look, there's only 25 copies of this book. I mean, it's like a gangster Winnie the Pooh. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, he's got Tommy guns. Who knows? He's probably, he's definitely killed Tigger for sure. I mean, right? Piglet, maybe. I don't know. Piglet's he's a little small. He could probably miss a lot of the bullets. But man, this is the book you've got to invest in. Thank you, Tim. I'm so glad that you mentioned this to us so we could get it out to all our viewers. Now, it's only got one sale, but it's at C2E2. So if you're at C2E2, go find this book for sure.
And it is midnight of April 1st. April Fools. I think we just blew everybody's mind, literally.
Yeah. You know what? I agree with you. I think that, sometimes you just have to listen to the people who really know what's going on in this world. People like Tim.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
So nice, I had to say it twice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the Almost 10. Let's get into the rest of the list, starting off with our Golden Age book this week, Keen Comics.
Oh man, I sold that really well. It looks like some of these people actually believed me.
I started believing you.
my
We
God.
planned it backstage. I was starting to go, holy crap. I mean, what's going happening here? I thought, is this part of the plan? Hopefully it's midnight and it really is April 1st.
Yeah.
Volsey said I was about to unsubscribe. Oh man, that's really funny.
Yeah. We love our boy
hey.
Thorough over here, but man, that guy is a character. Let me tell you, Tim. I hope one of these days you get some sense knocked into you, or I mean, talked into you. Keen Comics, #1 of the Golden Age.
Okay, this book. Okay, so there's not very many. If you look at like the Gerber Scarcity Index, there's not many that. This one has a scarcity index of 9. It is really scarce, and this sold on Heritage in that auction this week. There was a CGC 2.0 that came up for auction. And Heritage's little, like they always put little blurbs or whatever about the book, which I always think that they do a good job. Comic Link, their blurbs are terrible, but I think Heritage actually gives you decent information about what the book is and what Overstreet price is on it and how hard it is. And they tell you, like in this particular one, they said basically we've only had this book in 20 years. We've only had it for sale like one other time or something like that. Well, I'm sorry. Hi, Nathan. You can send them to me. I'll put them in Stein Pack 7.
Oh, don't give them more. Don't give them more ammunition. They're gonna think that's real too.
I know, probably. So Heritage had basically said that this book they've only had it like one other time ever or something like that. It's a really weird book. It's from 40? Is it from 59 or 48 or something like that? I don't know. 1939.
Yeah, definitely 40s. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is old. But yeah, so it had the Overstreet price guide on this for like $350 or something.
Wow.
What?
It sold for it sold for 6,600 in a 2.0. So crazy book. I don't really know anything about it. I mean, it's got a bunch of creepy clowns and a cow.
A guy in a cow.
A guy in a cow. It's very strange. I don't know what's going on, but yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. That's why it's on the honorable mention.
Yep.
Doc Joe says, isn't the honorable mention just an extension of the Almost 10? No. I got to explain this every time. The Almost 10 doesn't mean it almost made the list. It means we're getting close to doing the list, but we got to throw in some books before the almost. It doesn't make any sense. I know. I know.
It's kind of it's morphed. I will say it from where we had it the first, like when we first, kind of when I first started doing this. It was more books that and there are some. I mean, you look at some of those; they're like that Zerdy variant.
Mm-hmm.
It could have that probably was close to being on the 10. The Vampirella, Perio probably close to being on the 10. The Star Trek, there were several on there that were probably like extra books or something that could have been. But then I was like, what? This is a good place to start like talking about books that nobody knows about, that are like impossible to find, but they have really cool sales, and it's just just to keep an extra eye out there if you see something really off the wall. I mean, obviously a Tech 27, you're not gonna find that anywhere, but I wanted to throw it on there because I wanted to make sure that Keen Comics was talked about. Everybody knows Tech 27, so.
Well, and just to go back, I mean, so you guys know, we could bang this the 10 and the honorable mentions out in 10 minutes, edit the video, and just send it up. But we want to bring you guys good content and have a really good show every Friday. So Ben, Brian, and I try to brainstorm and add as much as we can. There's some things we shoot down, most of the stuff, but these are the things that stick, and we have a great show now.
Amen. On to the next honorable mention this week. This one is one a lot of people talked about. It does say not final art, but it's basically final art. Jabba's Palace #1, or the full title, Star Wars Return of the Jedi, Jabba's Palace #1. This is the 1 in 100 Ryan Brown Virgin variant. And I don't know what to think about this one.
We talked about it on FOC, remember?
Yeah.
You don't want to know what to talk about. I mean, you don't like it, or you don't know if you like it.
I don't know if I like it.
I love it. I ordered it. Somehow.
I think
it's on the way here.
I think it's a cool idea where they're going back and talking about that character, that his first interpreter droid, that we saw getting tortured in Return of the Jedi. So I think that's kind of cool. But all the other covers kind of look. The regular cover looks just like this kind of too. It's got Jabba in it too. The
1 in 25 though is a Boba Fett cover, right?
And that
I like
one
that cover.
is awesome. That's what I was going to get at, is how good is that Boba Fett cover?
Alex Maleev cover, yeah, totally. And there's 2 first appearances. Of course, it's a Star Wars book.
I mean, that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's good.
That's gorgeous stuff. So, but I get it. To each his own. So, how much is this selling for right now?
120.
It's not final art because I have it. What's different than on the final book?
Really?
Yeah.
No, he said that is final art.
Oh, that is final art.
Okay, good. I was like, what?
I read it wrong. I'm in fighting mood, Johnny. I'm in fighting mood. It is final art. Thank you. So, how much was it selling for again?
120.
There we go. A little bit over ratio.
That's actually pretty good for this market, huh?
Yeah.
I think so, in general.
All right. Let's get into the list. At number 10 this week, an oldie but goodie. I love Gen 13. I don't love the initial mini-series as much as I love the first ongoing series, but here we got number 1 from the 1994 mini-series, right? They did like 0 through 4 or 0 through 6 or something like that, right? But man, Jim Lee, J. Scott Campbell, Top Cow, Image. This was just such a great time period in comics and in life in general for a lot of us. Man, those early 90s, what a great time. And this is one of those books that got a lot of us into comics. So
yeah, for sure. So what kind of triggered me on this book was there was a newsstand sale, a CGC 98 newsstand of this that sold for $750, which is by far an all-time high for that. And then I was like, man, I wonder what the non-newsstands are selling for, and they were up as well. This was like it was like a $90, $80, $90 98 say, before. Now it's like 120 to 140 for 9/8 of this. I think you can still buy this raw for like $10. Which is, I mean, there's a lot of them out there. It's a #1 Image title that was super, super popular back in 94. So, I mean, gosh, we're getting up on 40 years or 30 years on this book now, which is crazy. Gosh, I'm just making myself older.
That is crazy.
30 years.
Holy cow.
But I know, 30 years on this book. So
you tell by the Image newsstand, because it's the same way with everything else, Lewis. There's a big newsstand, a barcode on the bottom left.
Yeah, it's on the front cover, so it makes it real easy to see. But yeah, $750 for that 9/8 on that. Like I said, 120 to 140 is pretty good on just the direct version.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. Every time I think of Gen 13 newsstands, who do you guys think of?
Dinesh?
No, I think of Ultra Maximus. That dude is
Ultra.
searching for Gen 13 newsstands for as long as I've known him. So, good books, man. Tough books. All those early Image newsstands are tough. If you could find any of them, Spawn, Gen 13, hell, even like some of the ones that people don't really talk about very often, even those newsstands sell for a lot. So Very interesting.
You guys are awesome. This is the way.
Thank you, brother. Shout out to our boy Chad Cave for that $50 super chat. Hopefully that sounded good for you guys.
Bro, so huge shout out to Chad Cave. As you guys all know, or anybody that watched my giveaway show or watch my Stein pack opening, I did give Chad a free pack, and so I sent that out. Actually got in the mail today, so I'm curious as to what he says when he gets it, because I added him one little extra.
Yeah, thank you, Chad. We appreciate Chad. Chad's one of the best community members here when it comes to just hanging out with all the shows and being part of every community. He's just a good dude, and we enjoy him. We enjoy the hell out of him, and he makes us laugh 90% of the time. So he's also got a very talented father who is a very talented artist that I'm going to be showing on Saturday in our IG art thing. So, all right, let's move on to number 9 this week. Oh boy, where's Big Leg when we need him? Comic Scene, number 31, a magazine, you guys, but very first, an early Harley Quinn appearance, came out before Batman Adventures 12, and not as early as Get 'em or whatever that is, Almost Got 'em or whatever, the tape one, but this is a very, very early preview of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember back, it feels like it gives like the whole story about her, like why they put her in there and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, this hold on, I got this. Where is it? All right. It came out in February 1st of 1993. So there we go. Predates Batman Adventures 12.
Yeah, so I don't know if this had to do with I don't know what happened. I don't know why this week in particular. There were several sales of this book. Raw, it was selling for $100 raw, which it was only selling for like 50 or 60 before, and a CGC 9.8, which I don't even know how you get a 9.8 in that. Sold for $2,000, which was.
I wonder if that was Big Leg's sale, because Big Leg was one of the only people I ever knew that had a 9.8.
I didn't even look at the seller. Let me look at it real quick, because I honestly don't know. Why is my mouse not working? Dang it.
Shout out to our boy Big Leg. If you guys don't know, you can catch him every Wednesday on Beyond Wednesdays. He hangs out with us for the Wednesday night review show. And if you're ever at a con and Big Leg is there, do not miss hanging out with that guy for at least one night. It'll make your day. It'll make your week. It'll make your year. It'll make you drunk and sick, but it'll be fun.
No, it came from Melbourne, Florida.
Oh, interesting.
So I have no idea who the seller was.
It's not the only Harley Quinn situation we have here today. I mean, there's a 1 in 25 and so on and so forth. I wonder if the Harley Quinn is just, the character is just heating up because of all the leaks that are coming out with, what's her name?
Lady Gaga and stuff?
Yeah.
I guess that's possible.
She looks like she'd be pretty interesting. Gonna be nuttier than a box of peanut brittle.
Man, Dollar's on fire tonight.
I love those nutty peanut brittle women.
When they're going in, not when they're coming out.
No, I just like crazy people. I'm nuts.
Comic Scene number 31. There you guys go. Be on the lookout. I love magazine collecting, and that's one of the things that we're going to talk more about on the channel. So make sure you guys tune in every Wednesday on Beyond Wednesdays for that's kind of like our more collectible based show. It has everything, whereas Saturday night's more about comics. But I really want to talk more about cool magazine collecting books. There's a big one that we might end up talking about next week on the Hot 10 list, that being that first appearance of Zeb and the first appearance of a lot of characters that Rebels magazine. So, but very, very cool book. On to the next. At number 8, speaking of Harley Quinn number 28, the 1 in 25 Dan Mora variant. There were some beautiful covers for that issue. Not only this one, which was very good, but there's also a few others. One by our boy Lobos. He is just killing it right now that he's doing major work for DC right now. This is another con variant. I believe this is available at MegaCon. There's a foil available at MegaCon, and he is just really killing it. But the 1 in 25 is beautiful. So is this one. The 1 in 50 is not bad. It's not terrible. I'm sure that'll be a foil book too, but
I wish because that's the 1 in 50, right? The other one you just showed.
Yeah, this is the 1 in 50 right here.
I always wonder who's making the decision on
what are the high ratios.
Yeah, like we're gonna put the best cover on the B cover and then have crappy ratio variants. Like why do they? Who makes that? Who makes that call?
Exactly. I've always wondered that. Always wondered that.
Yeah, because they make the worst call the majority of the time.
I know, it just makes no sense. But this one is. I agree. I like this one. This one's selling for 35 to 45, so this one's doing pretty well. Is there something special in this issue? Why they've got so many different variants for it?
I mean, I was looking it up and I didn't see anything. I did pick the 1 in 20. Brian and I were talking about it 3-4 weeks ago on MCM on Brian's FOC segment, but I didn't see anything in the guts.
Yeah, I did not see anything either. So could be a first appearance in there that we just don't know about. You never know. Oh, it's cool. It's a cool cover. I'll be honest. I think the majority of books these days that are hot like this sell because of cover buys. I think most people aren't reading comics. I think a lot of people aren't reading comics anymore, and that's sad. At least not like they used to. Most people that I know that are still collecting comics or are still big into it don't read on a regular basis. They're very rarely will they read a monthly book, and that's sad. That's really sad because back during New 52 era, most of the people that I talked to when I talked about comics, we were talking about a new book that came out that week and how great the story is. Now it's just not happening, and that news with Marvel that happened where people are worried that their comics division is going to get stale. We could see a flip here in the future where DC is going to be the hot new, publisher, not new, but the hot publisher again, and Marvel's going to take a back seat like it was during the New 52 era. So, but cool book. How much is the 1 in 25 selling for again?
35 to 45.
Yeah, that's a cool cover, man. All right, at number 7 this week, Tim Drake Robin number 7. This is the Acuna 1 in 25.
Yeah. Is it Surge or Surge?
I'm thinking Surge. Serge.
I was looking at his Instagram page and his art's not bad at all, and I don't necessarily think this art on this cover's terrible either. Just normally books, normally the ones that take off are female covers, not males with their shirt off covers. But maybe I'm just missing it. Maybe there's a growing, pocket of buyers for this kind of. That's always possible. I have no idea.
I was watching Ethan Van Sciver's YouTube channel the other night, and he had a bunch of, his regular cast on, Billy Tucci, a couple other guys. And I think it was Tucci that was talking about how, I think they were going over female characters being costumes being redone by female artists, and they went from being very sexy costumes to being very usable costumes. Like instead of wearing Canary wearing fishnets, she's wearing like sweats or something, because she's gonna fight in those, that type of thing. And one of the things that he said, that I forget who said it, I thought it was Billy Tucci, but it might not have been, the fact that they're always complaining, there's a lot of people always complaining about how skimpy and this and how terrible the costumes are for females, but they never complain about how terrible and skimpy the costumes are for the guys too. Like some of the costumes for the guys they're not very set up and he brought up this point that there are probably a lot of people that love the way people ogle the female characters in comics. There's a lot of people that ogle the male characters in comics too. So it's a legit question, and when we see more and more books like this, it'll be interesting to know the selling points and if we see them showing up more and more on lists like this.
Yeah, what's this story? Like, what's going on with Tim Drake in this story?
I think he's bisexual now.
Is that in this story? I thought that was in
yes.
like the urban legends.
I think it's in this story. I'm pretty sure. Am I wrong about that, you guys?
I mean, I have no idea.
I have no idea. I've never gandered.
Let me tell you the storyline here. Let's go take a look.
And I doubt that that's the storyline. I mean, it may be a part of it, but I'm just trying to figure out what is he doing. That I mean, like, is he part of is he still part of the Bat family? I'm assuming, since it says Tim Drake Robin, so I guess he is. But
so here it says, and for this issue, a new dawn rises on Tim Drake in Gotham Marina as a new chapter of Robin's story begins, but how long can the sense of calm last with a certain someone still roaming free in Gotham? So I don't know what that means, but this is the cover for the last issue. If you guys didn't see this or don't remember this, that'll give you a kind of idea of where they are in the series, where they're taking the character, at least. It says, who's this character? I don't even know who the character that he's kissing is. Bernard Dowd. So, there you go. For the question you were asking earlier, that seems to be the answer.
It's cool art. It kind of looks manga-ish or anime-ish, right?
I thought that too.
His eyes.
I think that, yeah.
His face, yeah. I like that. I've always liked that style with the big eyes. It's very cartoony. It's weird when you see people like do their makeup like that, and they can make the way they do their makeup. They can make their eyes look bigger. It's weird. Freaks me out. Anyways, how much is this selling for?
This one is selling for 50 plus, but I think I have to double check. Let me double check really fast because it was selling for that. Let's see here. What is that? Tim Drake 7 variant. But like there was a sale of 95. And let me see what current sales are on this. Like there's listings for 150.
Wow.
Yeah, so this one's high, like really high, and there's not that many of them out there.
Yeah. Well, there you go. On to number 6 this week. No One, issue number 1 from Image. A new book here. What's up with this?
I'm not really sure. I mean, this just came out just a couple weeks ago, right?
I tried looking it up, but I couldn't find anything on it.
I mean, it was basically cover price, and now it's selling for like 15 to 20. So I to be honest, I like you guys hear. I probably say this more than Brian says gorgeous. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know why. I've said this like a billion times since we started this channel. I don't know why half of these books are selling for this.
So
I'm not recommending going to buy these books. I'm just telling you that they're selling. If you can find it for cover price and cheap, flip it. I don't care.
So this is interesting. It says here, 10 months ago, the Richard Roe murders shocked the city of Pittsburgh. In the months since, the killings have sparked a dangerous political movement, copycat killers, and a masked vigilante who's still determined to hold the powerful accountable. Not a symbol, not a hero. They could be anyone. They're no one. Superstar writers Kyle Higgins from Radiant Black and Brian Buccellato and rising star artist Geraldo Borges bringing you the oversized chapter of a true crime, first chapter of a true crime superhero drama in its own corner of the massive verse. That's the Kyle Higgins verse, I think, right? And the story continues in Who is No One, a monthly companion podcast starring Rachel Lee Cook and Patton Oswalt doing the voices. So that's very interesting that they're kind of tying it in with a podcast too. I like that. That's smart.
That is an interesting concept for sure. That is different. I whether or not it's cool or it's a good story or not, I like the concept.
Yeah. Yeah. There we go. And how much did you say it was selling for at the gate?
15 to well, yeah, I mean like it was selling for cover price and now it's selling for 15 to 20.
Not bad.
Yeah, so it just took a couple weeks to ramp up.
Not bad. Well, be on the lookout. Kyle Higgins is a great creator, and it would be nice to see something that he does have continued growth. I know Radiant Black kind of took a little bit of a dive, but that's one of the few books that I actually do know people that are reading on a regular basis or were. So I think it's being canceled with issue 10. Oh, no. What?
Which one, Radiant Black is?
That
or
would
this
suck.
is?
Harry, let us know.
All right. Next at number 5. Halfway through the list, you guys. Paradise Court, number 1 from Zenescope. Another Zenescope book on the show tonight. But from 2018, this book came out, and that's a pretty interesting cover there. What do we got? Interesting news going on here?
So the only thing that I could find was this title or something apparently got optioned, which if that's the case, I don't know if I've ever heard, has any Zenescope title ever, first of all, did anybody actually, this is like confirmation. This is confirmation that there is interior art in a story inside these Zenescope books. This is 100% confirmation of that, which to me is more shocking than it was optioned, but I don't know if Zenescope has ever had
a book
an option.
Very interesting.
Is there one?
I'm sure there is that we just can't think of, but has it actually made it past option hell? That's the question.
What's the flagship or the biggest title on Zenescope?
It was
Grim Fairy Tales. Grim Fairy Tales.
And didn't they option that to do, but it just never happened?
I don't know.
I could be wrong on that.
I'm not really.
Here's what it says for this, though.
This doesn't even look like a Zenescope cover, though, right?
No. It says, while taking a cross-country trip, a young couple stops to visit one of their long-lost friends who live in an idyllic gated community in the Midwest. Not long after they arrive, they find out that a girl has gone missing and that something sinister may be lurking behind the mansions and well-manicured lawns of Paradise Court. Sounds perfect for a TV show, that's for sure, or a movie.
I guess.
Cover does not look like Zenescope. It looks like something from Image.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now I know that Zenescope also did the 7 series, but that was like 10 years after 7 came out, so it was not their story, and then it was optioned into a movie. It was they took the movie and then just made a comic about it. But
what, the 7? What do I know that from?
7 with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
About the murders and all that.
Yeah.
The 7 Deadly Sins, right?
All right. How much was this one selling for?
15 to 30.
Nice. Yeah, Decor says I'm more shocked that you're showing a Zenoscope book without without boobs or ass. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Next, at number 4. Speaking of boobs, All Star Comics, number 58. First appearance of Power Girl.
Yep, Power Girl's getting a lot of looks right now. This one is up, especially for, um, bronze, copper, silver keys that have basically kind of almost across the board taken hits. This one did take a little bit of a hit, but it is actually going back up now. 9.0s are 500, 9.4s are 600.
Nice.
I'm guessing that it's probably just getting extra eyes with all these Power Girl covers and all this stuff. It's probably what it is.
Yeah.
But I think we've talked about it on this show before. I've always thought that this book was fairly undervalued.
Yeah, I think we did.
Way
You're right.
underrated, dude. You could pick this up for less than $50 in high grade raw for a long time, dude.
Yeah, it's just one of those, and you're like, now, granted, she hasn't been able to like carry a title by herself for a long, which is still kind of weird. And maybe they just need better writers or something to actually write a decent story. Because you would think that with that kind of a character should be able to carry her own title, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's so popular right now, especially her variants and stuff. The new look, especially. So yeah.
Yeah.
Always love the character Power Girl, man. Those Adam Hughes covers from that run, back in before New 52. That whole run, I remember when it came out, and I was getting back into comics pretty heavily at that time. It was just a great series at the time. So, and then when she started showing up in Supergirl, I think was also good, and Superman, Batman, she started showing up in there too. That was pretty good too. So, yeah, one of the few Kryptonians that doesn't get much love. That's for sure. All right, how much is it selling for now?
9.0s are 500, 9.4s 600. So yeah, it's pretty much across the board in almost every grade. It's up right now.
By the way, I want to commend Ben. I love when you do that. I love when you say raw and then 9.2, 9.4, and you give us the whole range. That's good work right there.
Amen.
Sometimes it's hard, especially with vintage books. Sometimes it's really difficult to nail down a raw price because, man, people on eBay cannot grade. And most of the time they don't even try. They just put like 3 pictures and they're like, figure it out for yourself. And you're like, well, that doesn't help me at all. Like, if you're any kind of a comic book, you should at least be able to get within 1 or 2 grades. I mean, you should be able to look at it and be like, it's probably a 5 or it's probably a 6 or something like that. I mean, I'm not asking for you to look at it and be like, oh, this is Gem Mint, 7.0. I'm not asking you to be that stupid, but I mean, just at least give us some kind of a thing. So that's honestly, when it comes to like tracking some vintage sales, you almost have to go by CGC sales just because that's the only thing that is like consistent across the board.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the top 3, you guys. We got 236 watching live. Hit that thumbs up, you guys. Check out all the links in the description. You guys rule. We love you so much. And here we go. At number 3, Meet the Skrulls, number 1. First appearance of the Skrull family, the Warners, and
Kyra?
Kyra, is that what it is? Gaia?
That's what I say.
I don't know what it is.
But yeah, so I guess that's who Amelia Clark's going to be.
Yep.
I guess is that like confirmed, or is that like dude in the basement?
Yeah, I believe I don't know if it was RPK, Murphy's Multi. I don't know, one of those clickbaiters you love, Ben. They did an interview with her, and she said that she's playing this character. The character's real name is Gloria Warner, and a lot of people thought this would be Veronica, the Scroll Queen, including myself. But remember, guys, this is the MCU, so it's a different universe per Marvel. If you look at the Marvel Handbook from 2007, it shows the continuity in there for the Iron Man movies and beyond, and it's a different universe. So what were we saying earlier in the show? They put their own little twist on things. So I wouldn't be surprised if Gloria Warner here, or Gia, or whatever you want to call her, ends up being a version of Veronica, the Scroll Queen, and Queen Scroll, whatever, and this character.
That's an interesting take for sure. I like now. So this book was kind of was heavily under order because nobody was thinking, hey, we're going to order a bunch of Meet the Scrolls. But I like how, so it was like a $5 book. Now with this Amelia Clark thing, it's on for like 15 to 20. I actually like that kind of an it's a very mild increase. It's not anything to where it went from $5 to $100, because when it does that, when it goes from $5 to $100, then 3 weeks later it's back down to $30, and everybody thinks the book is tanking and nobody wants to buy it. I like these gradual increases. Okay, it goes from $5, cool. Now it's 15 to 20. That's a good, healthy market increase, right? I mean, it's not just people just blasting off with their money, and it's not people artificially inflating a book either. I mean, this is what I would think if something like that, and it's got a first appearance in this. It's not like a huge character, but it's might be a decent character. It's an actress that a lot of people love. Just when you start thinking that, you're like 15 to 20, that is a good price point for that.
It's got some
I like it.
variants too, dude.
Yeah, there's the 1 in 25 Declan Shalvey, which I think is a sleeper. There's that movie variant with Talos on the front. There's that second print I think is a sleeper. Has them on the cover. Has her on the cover, I believe. Right? Look, can you scroll up a little bit? There's the Scotty Young. Yeah. Not a lot of these copies out there, especially the second print's tough book.
1 in 50 is a tough book too.
1 in 50 is tough. I've never seen it in the wild. I've never seen it online besides the secondary market when they pop up. But just so you guys know, we have another modern age version of Madam Viper here. So in that case, Secret Warriors #2, the mini. I don't know. It's not a mini series. I think it was the long series. But anyway, Secret Wars #2, she makes her first appearance, but nobody knows who she is. She doesn't talk or anything until I believe there's a couple other cameos. And then issue 6 is a full reveal. Same here. Meet the Squirrels. You have this character Gia, what have you. She makes her appearance and this and that, but her name and her identity is not truly revealed until issue #4.
Interesting.
Man, that's good stuff, Richie.
There you go. Be on the lookout for those books. And did you say it was selling for
15 to 20?
Okay, there we go. All right, #2 this week, you guys. Let's get into the good stuff. The Terrifics. James Gunn puts out a post or a tweet and starts getting everybody going crazy. And here we go.
Now, me and Rich are giving this big thumbs down. Brian, what do you give this?
I would rather, if a book was going to get hot for the Terrifics, I'd rather it be that Mr. Terrific first appearance, that Spectre book. But
oh yeah, 54? Was that 54?
Yeah, I love that Spectre series, and that's a great part of the series. And if there was a book that was going to get hot, I would expect it to be that book way over this book. But, it's coming. The rumors about, Plastic Man and, everything else are hot and heavy right now.
I think every single time there's been a team book that increased and it's made the Hot 10, I think we've said the same thing every time. The only team books worth investing in are Avengers, Justice League, X-Men. And just guys. X-Men, Teen Titans. I mean, like the nosebleed teams, all other teams, nobody's going to care about at all. Like Thunderbolts, nobody's going to care about it. Yeah, they're going to be in a movie, cool, but nobody's going to care about it. Don't invest in Thunderbolts. Don't invest in the Terrifics. Don't invest in Suicide Squad. These teams change. They add so many different people. I wish it was this one. I wish it was an April Fool's. I really do, because this is terrible. But
how high has it jumped from where it was?
Oh, this thing was like not even selling to. It's $20 plus for this.
Wow.
Now I don't know.
There's a second printing on this too, so.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what the second print is selling for, but yeah, $20 plus on this. I mean, come on, guys. Hey, go out and find in the dollar bins, flip it, move on. That's
buy that
right?
Scrolls book instead. That's what I.
Yeah, if you're gonna, if I'm gonna spend $20, I'll buy that Scrolls book more than I'll buy this Terrifics book for sure.
Yeah. Well, number one is worthy of a lengthy chat, so let's get into it. Action Comics, number 1053, the MegaCon Virgin Foil Will Jack Power Girl variant. And, oh boy, is this gorgeous.
Yeah, I think when these things started pre-selling like 2.5 months ago, everybody knew that once it went live, that it was going to make the list. There was like no doubt. How many versions of this are there? When he sold
he sold them in sets. So there
was it 2 or 3?
So here's the 2 foils, right? And then that was coming out of MegaCon, and then here's the 2 regulars right here. And they're both absolute bangers, man. Just pure. This is and I've said it before when I talked about this book when we saw it on FOC. This is the type of stuff that is just like that perfect example of, super sexy, beautiful without going over the line. It still has a little bit of class to it. I mean, it's beautiful, man. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I don't know how anybody can not like this cover. These covers.
Yeah, I like Johnny. I like that one. I like your comment on that one. That one is true. It's definitely a different face than the Zerdy.
Yes.
For sure. Whether you like the computer art that Will Jack and Shayna Mayer do, is completely, I get it both ways. This one's got 1,000 print run on it. It's not super small. I would say that if they would have made this, like 400 or something, that this would be a book that I would think would basically go straight into people's PCs, and you would have a really hard time finding it. And it still may be that book. I mean, it's probably going to take a while for people who just want to collect this and want to just keep it. For that 1,000 to basically dwindle to where there's hardly any, available for sale, right? Because I'm sure that there's people that have hoarded these at MegaCon. We see it every single show. There's always somebody that somehow hoards these things. Again, that's the people that we like to promote. That's our friends. So we want to make sure that they make all the money that they can.
He's kidding. He's kidding.
Oh my God. I mean, when people say that, when people actually even remotely try and accuse me of that, it's so funny because they literally have no idea the fact that, one, I don't go to cons. I don't know any of these people at the cons. I don't know any dealers. I don't know these people. I don't talk to these people. You know who I talk to about comics? Brian and Richie. That's about it. I mean, I literally don't have time to talk to anybody. I have a full-time job. I don't do this. I don't mess with comics like that. So, but this one, I think I agree with Brian on this one. Oh, there's a lot of the Will Jack covers I do not like at all. They look super fake, super.
Yeah, the one on the list last week was a little bit weird in the face. The Catwoman one, right?
Yeah, this one just has, I don't know, just her. I think it is her face that just looks like,
It's
like the girl
everything,
next
dude.
door. It's got like the girl next door look, and I
Yeah.
think that's what works on it.
Oh man, this is just it's one of the best covers I've seen in a long time. So, and round of applause to Will Jack for this one right here. This might be cover of the year.
Yeah, so
Seriously.
Michael Palmer said he's at MegaCon and didn't see a single copy for sale. So,
Well,
they went really fast. And I think I think anybody probably would have figured that, because even the ones you bought from his website, was it from his website or was it from an actual retailer? I
I
don't
think it
honestly
was at
know,
the
but
con from him, if I'm not mistaken, or no, Comic Mint. Was it the Comic Mint? I'm not sure. I
yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, those were pre-selling, so everybody kind of knew that was going to be, once this issue went live, that it was going to, it was going to sell well for sure. So I'm sure that anybody that was there early went ahead, and if they did have a limit, which I hope they did have a limit, I hope they didn't let somebody just go in and buy 50 copies or 100 copies or something, to let, at least some people be able to get, a couple of them or something like that. They're still going to sell out. So I mean, it doesn't really harm them to do that, but this one's selling for 100 and a quarter plus, and I went with the I think like the one that I'm going to put on the website is going to be the full, not the close up, the other foil with the.
Full
I think
body.
that's probably the one. I think I like that one better.
Yeah.
Than the close up of
Yeah.
the two. I don't hate either one of them, but I think I like the full. I think it might be the sky in the background that I like, that makes it look so unique.
Yeah, it's damn good. That's all I know. And that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for hanging out with us this week. Make sure you guys say hello to our buddies over at Drunken Chat, because we're going to send you on over there. Make sure you sub up, hit that thumbs up button if you're catching this on the replay. Tell us what you think about the show. And we always love your constructive criticism. We read every single comment, you guys, so don't ever think we don't. And we appreciate you guys more than ever. So come hang out with us tomorrow night on Modern Comic Mayhem, and tell the guys at Drunken Chat we said hello. Adios.